Hey everyone, feel free to go ahead and pop in the comments to say hello when you hop on. Welcome to our webinar about passing the Magic Ears interview. I am so excited to be doing this workshop today. Oh, hi, I see people on. Hello, welcome everybody. Like I said, I am so excited to do this workshop. Hi, Wendy. I think this is going to be really, really helpful. It's not something that is Magic Years official, by the way, but they did give me permission to use the demo slides, so it's Teacher Carley official, which isn't the same thing, but I do know what I'm talking about, and I'm really, really excited. I think this is going to help so much. So hi, I see everybody popping on. The first thing I'm going to show you guys is super, super important. It's this little PowerPoint about communication. So take a screenshot really quick, save it. It's so important to know where to get information and go to the right places for communication. For our Magic Ears Q&A group, if you have any general questions, whether it's about the interview process or maybe just about the company as a whole, we can answer those for you. We have admins that work 12-hour shifts. Well, not one admin working 12-hour shifts, but we do have admins that are on call 12 hours a day to answer your guys' responses that we aim for in less than 30 minutes. It's a lot sooner than waiting for a 1 to 2 business day response from our teacher@memears.com email. So any general questions, feel free to ask there always. I'm one of the admins and I'd be happy to help you guys. Also make sure that you take screenshots so you know our business hours. If you have a question that's more personal and not something that us admins can help you with, that's where we want to go ahead and contact teacher@memears.com. If you have an emergency, this is really important. Make sure that you have this Skype address. Let's say you are getting ready for your interview. It's been 12 hours past, so you can't cancel it on the portal yourself, but you are super, super sick. You want to make sure that you send a message to this Skype saying, I cannot make it to my interview. And as long as you do that, it's 100% okay, because Magic Ears has a great sick policy where you never get in trouble. If you're sick, if your kid's sick, you have any kind of emergency, feel free to let the team know ahead of time, and that will be very, very helpful. Okay, so if everybody's taken a quick little screenshot, we're going to go ahead and talk about what we need to know before we come to our interview. Because when you do your interview, I really want to make sure, guys, that you only have to do it once and you don't have to reschedule. A lot of the times, the reason why people have to reschedule their interviews or sign up for a demo instead is because they did not have the proper tech requirements. So I want to note, Chromebooks and iPads, you're not even going to be able to download the platform. You have to be on a Windows or Mac computer, Windows later than 7, Mac later than 10.11 OS X, and that can be laptop or desktop, but make sure that you are on one of those devices. For the processors, super important. You want to make sure that your CPU is at least an Intel 5 4th generation. These are the models that you want to be looking for. These are the models that are CPU i5 3rd generation and below that we don't want to have. The Y and U, they stand for low energy consumption, and the platform is not going to support these. So what's probably going to happen is you're going to get into your interview and pretty soon you're going to freeze and you're going to have to reschedule because there's no way we can go forward with the demo. So make sure, again, we're not using Radeon, Celeron, processors, AMD processors. You really want Intel 5, 4th generation models and above. That is really going to help you pass, or not even pass, but be able to do your interview or demo. And even if you're able to somehow get through your demo without having these proper requirements, it's going to be an issue later in your trial class or training. So really make sure that you have a computer with this model. If you need some suggestions, I really recommend asking again on our Q&A page. A lot of our teachers will be happy to share with you what they use for computers. I also want to let you guys know if at any point you have any questions, feel free to you comment them in the chat. I'll be looking over as I'm going through everything to make sure that I'm not missing anything. So the next thing we want to make sure that we have before we come to our interview is a headset. Do not come to your interview without one, because what's going to happen is there is going to be a very loud echo on the other side of the screen for the interviewer. In every class we have, headsets are required. So you want to make sure you have this in your interview. Headphones are a no-go. It has to be a headset. So super, super important to have the proper equipment. The other thing that is not going to disqualify you from being hired at Magic Ears or passing your interview, but it is going to set you back is if you have improper lighting. And Magic Ears standard for lighting, I will say it is a little bit higher than other company expectations. So if you pass your interview, but you need to work on your lighting, they're going to have you fix it and send them proof before you can schedule your one before training. So to kind of avoid all of that hoopla from happening, just go ahead and try to make sure that we fix it before we get there. So what I have set up with my lighting right now is I have a floor lamp in front of me with these daylight bulbs. They are 60-watt LED daylight, just really standard. I don't exactly know what the watts or anything means, but this is what I put in mine. And as you can see, it really helps illuminate me. I turn off my overhead light and keep all the light focused in front of me. And that really helps illuminate shadows, or having too much light can be super overwhelming and cause your picture to look a little funky. So I always recommend, if you're struggling with lighting, put it all in front of you. If you are one of those people that might get migraines from really strong lights, like I'm pretty used to, just don't look at them. But if you're one of those people that you're worried you're going to get headaches, you can take parchment paper and put them over those lights to help diffuse it, to where if you kind of accidentally look at it, it's not going to blind you like it would if you were looking directly into a light bulb. So a lot of teachers do that as well. If you have your lighting set up to where you think, man, this should be working for me, I should be fully illuminated, what's happening? A lot of the times what it is you are using an internal webcam that's in a laptop instead of an external one. An external webcam that I really, really recommend, and I know a lot of our teachers use, is the C290 Logitech webcam. And I actually have a little link that I'm going to share with you guys if you are interested in getting an external webcam. It's a little pricey, but I love this webcam and I will keep it forever. It really, really makes a difference in your lighting. So if you feel like you've done everything that you needed to do to have good lighting, the lighting's pointing in front of you, that overhead light's off, and it's still not working out for you, think about investing in an external webcam. That's going to really make the difference for you. And again, ask in the Q&A group. You can post a picture of your lighting and say, what do I need to do to fix this? And so many of us have had struggled with lighting. I struggled so much with lighting myself. There will be people that are going to be able to help you and know exactly what is wrong and how to fix it. So never be afraid to ask for help there. The other thing it's super important to have before we go to our interview are our props. And I'm going to go ahead and really quick pull up our demo slide, but the props for this lesson are going to be super, super easy. The demo lesson is called In the Morning. I'm pretty sure a lot of you have seen it on YouTube from other teachers that have already completed their demo. But it's really a short slide, and I'm going to explain a spiel that I tell all of my interviewees beforehand as well. And I think it's really, really important to figure out what is best for you. Do you think you would excel better in an interview or a demo? And that's a different answer for a lot of people. So what I recommend is figure out what works for your personality. The company doesn't have preference on either or. It's really up to you. So if you feel like having a live person is going to help you be really energetic and you can feed off that, interaction with a live person, go for the live interview. If you feel like, oh, I'm a little shy, I'm a little nervous, I don't know, go ahead and schedule a demo. When you schedule a demo, you could literally decide, hey, I want to do mine 5 minutes from now. Boom, enter in the time you want to do it. Select 25 or 55-minute minimum for your room. Have your screen recorder ready because you will need one. I recommend iSpring or Loom, or if you have Mac, a lot of people use QuickTime, but make sure you have a screen recorder for that demo. You can open those rooms as many times as you want. So open one for 25 minutes and just look around at the slides. You know, kind of get your bearings straight. That's completely fine to do. And then you can open another room and start recording. You can start, you can stop your demo, whether you do the interview or you do the recorded demo, it's really 8 minutes long. So if you have a room for 55 minutes or even 25, you're going to be able to redo it a lot. And like I said, you can always re-enter. So if you feel like, oh, I'm too nervous with a live person, or I'm nervous about only getting one shot, I really want to do the demo so I can record it as many times as I need and send in my best demo, that is going to be the best option for you. Now, if you are a perfectionist, this may not be the best option because you will find yourself doing 10 demos, 20 demos, like all these different kinds of demos, and it's going to be stressful for you because you are going to feel like, oh, it's not perfect yet. So if you're one of those people where you feel like you are just going to obsess over getting the most perfect demo, make sure that you sign up for the live interview. And guys, don't be afraid of this live interview. We try to make it as comfortable as possible. So we try to be really friendly. We're not like, you know, very serious because we want you guys to succeed and we want you guys to feel set up for your best success. So I'm trying to upload this little slide really quick, guys. So I do apologize. I'm going to try to do it again because it was taking a really long time to upload. So once that uploads, I'll go ahead and pull up our demo for us to view. But like I said, the other thing we want to do before we get to our interview is prepare. So if you sign up for a recorded demo, as soon as your start time for the classroom starts, that demo is immediately going to load in. But like I said, you can do this as many times as you want. You can open up as many rooms. It's okay to do that. For the live interview, as soon as you schedule it, you are going to have that demo material pop into your platform, which you should download, that you can preview all the way up until your interview time. Really, guys, it's so important to do this. I can't tell you how many times we've had people come to the interviews where it's very obvious they're looking at the material for the very first time. And you don't want to do that, guys. You really don't, because we have teacher directions on each slide and you have to know what these say. Otherwise, you're going to be very start and stop throughout the whole process. It's not going to look very smooth like we would want a class to be. And we have to pay attention to that. So really, really make sure that you are focusing on that. Yes, iSpring and Loom are really great ones to do. This is another one, QuickTime Player. If you have Mac, a lot of people use these. A really good thing to point out about these screen recorders is a lot of the times their default is set to mute. Don't know why, who knows, that's a terrible idea, but make sure that before you start recording and you think you have your best demo and you go to send it in and there's no audio, go ahead and do a really, really quick recording. Testing, 1, 2, 3, just to make sure that you have your audio on before you start recording. It's going to save you a lot of heartache if you are having situations. So. Okay, I finally got the little thing to pop up. So let's go ahead and start looking at our demo material. I like to give a little spiel before each, oops, let me find the comments. I like to give a little bit of a spiel before each demo to kind of help prepare the interviewees for the process. So a lot of the times what I'm going to say is, of course, make sure you have your 2 props ready to go. You can have more than 2 if you want. A toothbrush and washcloth, pretty standard. It's going to meet your requirement and not that big of a deal. But I always say the demo is going to be 8 minutes long, guys. We will stop you at 8 minutes. This does not mean anything bad on your part. This is just us as interviewers having to get through all the interviews we have for that day, so we have to time things. If you don't finish in 8 minutes, that's not going to disqualify you. But we do want to see you get through as much demo as possible. Yes, I do believe you can use Zoom as well because it should give you a link, Melissa. But we do want to see as much of that, teaching personality and teaching skills as possible shining through. So really try to pace yourself to where you're going to get through, if not all the material, or as close as possible. Really prepare, like I said, beforehand. The two things that we are looking for are teaching skills and teaching personality. Don't worry about using the platform functions. That's not something that you are going to be judged on when you come to the interview. You'll learn how to do that later in training if you're hired. So don't worry if you don't understand how to use everything. We don't expect you to. Again, teaching skills, teaching personality. This is what is super, super important. So let's talk about personality really quick, because I feel like we have a lot of great teachers who have amazing teaching skills. And I don't even think it's that they don't have an energetic teaching style. It's that they don't understand what we mean when we say teaching with passion. And that's kind of the brand that Magic Ears has made. And the phrase that we use in all of our trainings is teaching with passion. That's a little subjective because as teachers, we all feel like we teach with passion, right? What they mean by this is kind of high energy. When you're working one-on-one with a student in person, you're sitting very closely to them. And this is the way my friend Lily explained it, which I think is amazing. And you're being very friendly, right? And we're still focusing on that student. We're very engaged, but we're more reserved. We're a little bit more calm. We're not like yelling in their face. But when you are in front of a class of kindergartners, you have to be animated. You have to be, projecting yourself and being, keeping all those kids engaged. So it's kind of the same thing when we're in a 1v4 platform. And these kids are coming to their Magic Ears classes with the expectation that their teacher is going to be fun and that we are going to have high energy and we're going to have a great time, because these kids go to school for hours a day. They come home, do their homework, and then they come to English class. Magic Ears tries to make this a very, very fun activity to where it feels less like they're being educated and more like they are having fun. We call it edutainment. But this doesn't mean that you have to be a clown, like some people may describe it, or that you're over the top doing headstands, anything crazy. It just means we want you to be energetic. So I'm going to explain kind of the differences between what Magic Ears sees in energy and what I see some applicants think that energy is in the demo. So what's not energy is, hello, my name is Teacher Carley. What is your name? You can see how it was kind of a little platonic. My voice didn't vary a lot. I was more quiet, where if I was doing a class, I would open my camera and say, hello, my name is Teacher Carley. Welcome to Magic Ears. So we're changing our voice a lot. We're looking at the students and we are trying to get them engaged. So I'm going to kind of go through this demo as if it were me being the interviewee. So I'm just going to go ahead and start and call my student Sophie, and I will stop at certain parts of the demo and address things that I think are kind of important and have a little bit of insight that maybe you might not realize as an interviewer seeing Magic Ears classes for the first time. So here we go. Hello, my name is Teacher Carley. Welcome to Magic Ears. What is your name? Sophie, hello. How are you? Happy. Repeat after me. I am happy. Very good, Sophie. High five. Are you ready? Let's go. So this is really important that I like to point out. At Magic Ears, this is a warm-up. So we're going to say, okay, class, let's listen to our warm-up song. Here we go. Click that button to play the song. do your little dance. This is the way we wash our face, you know, whatever you're going to do. But we don't have to make our students sing this song. We don't have to try to teach them the sentences, because really, this is an introduction to what we're going to be teaching. They are not going to be able to read "This is the way we wash our face" right off the bat. That's what we're going to be teaching them in the demo. So just play this song as a warm-up. Don't try to teach it to your interviewer, because one, it's going to be hard because your student is going to be pretending like this is way too hard for them, and it's going to be taking up a lot of your 8 minutes. So go ahead and play this and continue on to the next slide. What I do want to note as well is that I know with other companies that they really only want you reading what is on the slide, and we also have a teacher direction box here. At Magic Ears, we don't say you can't have incidental language in the classroom. What? I know a lot of companies are super against that, but we're trying to encourage them to use very natural conversational skills. So when we're transitioning, what we don't want to do is go, "Good job." Okay, so you see how I had that pause? We want to be having what we call transitional sentences. So I can say, "Are you ready? Let's go," as I'm clicking that slide over, so that we're not having pauses in the middle of our class. So if I read this sentence to my student, "I wake up in the morning." In the morning. Do we play? Yes. So play the audio. You don't have to sing because it's not going to match up with the audio. So you can just like do your "This is the way we wash our face" and kind of just dance along and then say, "Okay, good job. Let's go," and start the lesson. So if we have a student, like I said, where we say, "I wake up in the morning," and they can't repeat that full sentence to us, that lets us know, okay, we need to adjust the way we're teaching this because it's too hard for that student to say a full sentence. So we might say, "So close. Repeat after me. I wake up. I wake up in the morning." In the morning. So we break the sentence up so the student can understand it better and repeat that vocabulary back to us correctly. I do apologize if you can hear this crazy storm happening around me. We just had one like blowing out of nowhere, and I was like, really? Today of all days? But anyway, let's continue on. I think this is a slide that surprisingly a lot of people struggle with because it's so simple. And it's so easy to kind of get into this extension mode where we want to show off our skills and we kind of take it too far where it's too much for the student. And what I mean by that is if I said, "Look, this is Ken. Ken says, 'Good morning, Mom.' Can you say, 'Good morning, Mom?'" Whoa, we've said a lot of stuff and our student may be confused like, like, what do you want me to do? So I really recommend to keep it simple. I would simply say, "Good morning, Mom." "Good morning, Mom." "Good job." "Good morning, Ken." "Good morning, Ken." A really simple extension teach skill that you can use if you want is in the Magic Ears platform, which I can't do here, you can drag your screens around. So you could put your student here and put yourself here and say, "Can you say, 'Good morning, teacher'?" Very good. "Good morning, Sophie." And that's something that we're still extending the lesson, but notice how we are still using the vocabulary words. We're not extending it too far beyond where our student gets overwhelmed, or maybe we're using language that isn't appropriate to their level. So I really recommend on keeping it simple. Every slide has teacher directions over here. Always do your teacher directions first. And like I said previously, you want to know what these say before you get to the interview. Because if you get to this slide and go, "Okay, let's see. Okay, good morning, Mom." We know you're reading the directions, and we can't be doing that in our regular classes, so we don't want to see it happening in the demo. Should we be pretending to teach one student or more than one student? Good question. So to keep it really simple and less confusing, One student is fine for your demo. When you're doing your interview, your student is the interviewer. So yes, one student for the demo is completely fine. We still want to have that energy though, like we are teaching in a 1v4 setting. So super important to remember Magic Ears is high energy, and we want to see that in the demo because that's what we want in the classroom. So great question, Kim. Good point. So if previously I was on a slide where I read this entire sentence and my student was not able to repeat it, I know they are not going to be able to repeat it on my other read together slides. So on this slide, I might do the same thing. I wash my face. I wash my face in the morning. So we're still going ahead and breaking it up. Pam, in the actual demo that you'll have, this is the PowerPoint, so it's not there. They're going to be right in this box. Right here in the corner, you're going to see your teacher directions where they will literally tell you what to do on each slide. So super important to note that when you are previewing and preparing for your interview, we know what's happening over here. David is asking if it's more common to have multiple students. Absolutely. So Magic Ears is designed to be 1v4. We ideally want all of our classes to be 4 students full. Sometimes that doesn't happen. You might have 3, you might have 2. Sometimes you might have 1, but really always be prepared to teach up to 4 because we promote group classes and that's what we're trying to have for each class. So good question, David. Whoops. And if you skip a slide, don't keep going. You can go, uh-oh, and go back like I just did. So in the teacher directions, it will have us say, wash. Very good. Let's spell wash. W-A-S-H. Wash. You know, and have them do that whole thing. We can read these sentences. I wash my face. Wash my face. I wash my hands. So a lot of students really struggle with plural words. So I think this is something to pay attention to when you're previewing, that your student may struggle with this because there aren't any plural words in Mandarin. So a lot of students struggle and they might say, I washed my hand. So I think it's important that if this happens, you have a way that you're going to kind of teach that. And what I would say is, so close. One more time. Repeat after me. Hand. 1 hand. 2 hands. Very good. I wash my hands. Well done. High five, Sophie. Great job. And yes, Elizabeth, you can use props like holding up letters. Like I said, 2 prop minimum, super easy to deal with. But if you want to add more, the better. I love when people have extra props, especially later in this lesson, we'll talk about teeth, and some people actually come to their demo with like these little puppets that have teeth, and like stuff like that we aren't expecting is good, because when you pull that out in front of the students and they're not expecting it, you get a really good reaction, and that really helps you with your rating. So yes, if you want to add more props, go for it. So this slide is actually where we would use our 1v1 interaction mode, which in this PowerPoint, it doesn't really let me point up to where it is, but it's somewhere up here in this top bar. Again, if you are not comfortable using this mode, you don't have to use it. If you do want to use it, you would simply click that button. It would enlarge you on the screen. You'd pick up your interviewer and drag them next to you. Have them say the word wash. Very good. Wash, 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 wash. Do whatever you're going to do with that exercise. We really recommend that you keep it to the word in the box, because if we have our students start saying sentences, they may struggle with that without having a visual. So I always recommend stick to the word that it has in the teacher directions, which again are over here. Again, if you want to get out of this mode, all you do is click that button. But if that really worries you, where you're like, oh, I don't want to mess it up, and then I'm going to get flustered and mess up more, you can simply drag your screen over here and drag your student's screen over here and have them say it as well. guys. My power went out. I do apologize. I said like this is the worst day to have a storm. Thank you guys so much for sticking in here. You guys rock. That was a little stressful, but I'm glad we're all still here. If you can hear me, go ahead and just type me something really quick because I can see myself, but I want to make sure that I am back so we don't have any problems. Yes, Lily. Oh, I'm so glad you came. Thank you, Sarah. Yes. Okay, so let's continue where we left off. Again, if you are not, or if you're not comfortable using that 1v1 mode, it's okay. Drag your computer over, or drag your screen over here, drag your interviewer screen over here, and you can continue on. Totally okay to do that. Thank you guys for being so supportive. You guys are the best. So again, with this slide, anytime we have a read together slide, if that first time they did not say that full sentence right, I wouldn't even attempt to keep trying to teach them full sentences. So I would break up. Oops, I wouldn't break it up there. I would say, I brush my teeth in the morning. So what we also want to make sure that we notice, a lot of students struggle with the th sound. And if you are not looking at that student very closely, it's very easy to miss teeth and teeth. So make sure that you are paying attention to your interviewer when you get these words like tooth and teeth, because these are common mistakes that our students are making. Your interviewer is probably going to make the same mistake and try to see if you catch it. So if we do see it, we can say, ooh, so close. Let's try again. Teeth. Very good. Teeth. I brush my teeth. So make sure that we look for those corrections. You really have to look at your student. Let me see. Kim says she can hear me, but my slide is grayed out. Does anybody else have that issue? Let me know if you do. So on this slide, I'm going to go over this a little bit quicker because we know how this is working. It's a grayed out feed. I hear you, but the screen's grayed out. Okay, guys, let me see really, really quick. I'm going to stop the slide presentation and try it again. I think that's what our issue is here. So let me pull that up. But like I said, on those read together slides, guys, I would really recommend breaking up those sentences for your student so that you can really focus on their pronunciation on each word. If your student has an issue with saying the word teeth, make sure we aren't correcting them by saying, I brush my teeth. Single out that word that they are struggling with and really emphasize that pronunciation before having them try to say that sentence again. Okay, so I'm pulling up our little presentation. It's probably going to take a few minutes, so bear with me, guys, here. It's swirling on the screen. Okay, Pam can see me. Tanya has no sound. Woo, guys, let me see. So you shouldn't be seeing the presentation yet. Let me pull this off. Okay. Tell me if you can see me. Oh my goodness, guys. I am so sorry. Okay, Lily can see and hear me. Yes, yes. Okay, guys. Thank you so much for sticking in. I'm not planning on having a storm tonight. So as soon as that loads back up, we can go ahead and proceed forward. Oh, thank you, Alicia. So, guys, I think I need to cancel my classes for tomorrow because I can't have that happening in the classroom. So thank you guys for being here. Let me see if that presentation is still working on pulling itself up. But with the demo, again, just make sure we're making those corrections, but have fun with it. If you're excited about teaching, you're going to have energy naturally, and it's going to shine through. And when we finish the interview, we're going to say, yes, that's a Magic Ears teacher. Wanda says, what area of the country I'm in? I'm in San Antonio, Texas. So it never rains here except for tonight. So thank you guys so much for sticking around. I'm still waiting for that little screen to pop back up. But like I was saying with the whole interview, if you're having fun, guys, it's going to be so much more easier than it sounds. Wanda's in North Texas. Do you have any rain, Wanda? Because it's pouring cats and dogs down here. Yeah, so this is a great question to ask, Molly, because I'm probably in this situation now where I'm probably going to have to cancel my classes for tomorrow because my internet's acting really funky. You would not be penalized because it's like a natural disaster. I've actually had to cancel once for having really, really loud thunder and hail going on to where it was like deafening loud. And they did not penalize me for that. That's why we have standby teachers. They'll make sure to give that to them. And I know a lot of other teachers who have had that same situation as well. So if you come to your interview and there is a storm happening, it's okay. They're going to let you reschedule, and it's no big deal. And guys, if I can't get this little interview or this little slide to pop back up, I will make a video going through the entire demo for you guys because I am so sorry. There it goes. My storm is happening right now because I don't think it's going to pop back up. But what happens if you finish your interview? You will get a response from the Beijing team in 2 business days. Your interview is probably going to be like 15 minutes long. Don't be shocked by that. I know the window says 30 minutes, and the reason why it does is because if you're running a little late, that you're having a tech issue, we're going to wait 5 minutes for you to show up because we do have other interviews to get through, but we're going to wait for you. If you are kind of struggling with your demo a little bit and you need a little bit more time, we could go 8 to 10 minutes. So we have that, little leeway to help you guys out. But if you finish in 15 minutes, that's completely normal. Don't think, oh my gosh, it ended early. I must have messed up. You didn't. You probably did fine. So don't worry about that. You get a response from your Beijing team in 2 business days, which are Monday through Friday. So if you get caught over the weekend, you're going to have to wait a little bit longer, and that really stinks, right? David says, sounds like an awesome storm. David, it is coming down. But yeah, so what I really recommend, if you are really anxious to get through the process and like you want to know as soon as possible, maybe don't schedule your interview for Friday or Saturday. Sunday, not going to be that big of a deal. But again, the weekends aren't going to be the business days. Elizabeth says, you get the demo info after you apply. So yeah, if you apply and you make it through your application process, you are going to go to either schedule your live interview or your demo. Guys, super important. Live interview is going to be that yellow box schedule. The demo is going to be where you select method 2. You hit a drop down. You can put in the date and the time you want to do it. It can literally be 5 minutes from now if you wanted to. And again, you can open those rooms as many times as you want. So yeah, as soon as you get your application accepted, you're going to immediately get to do that. Yes, and when you choose the interview demo time, it's going to be in your time zone. When you get the confirmation email, it's going to be in Beijing time because they are using Calendly to schedule everything. So that's why your email is going to be in Beijing time and not your time. But in the portal, it will reflect that. So when you get the confirmation email and you see it's in Beijing time, don't worry. The time that you signed up is going to be when your interview is. And when you log into your platform, you're going to see that there as well, that it's in your time zone that you signed up for. Let me see. When I apply, do I give a traditional resume? It's going to be like a CV is what we call it. But yeah, I would leave out everything that is not teaching related. For example, on my application, I'm a certified phlebotomist. I didn't put that there because it's not related to teaching. So I think the more related you can make it, the better, Melissa. Okay, guys, but yes. And also, it's so important to note that okay, Teresa lost me. Did anybody else lose me? Okay, no sound. Let me see. I'm going to type it here in case you guys cannot hear me, but your interviewer will not leave feedback. They're not going to leave you feedback because if the Beijing team does not agree with us, it's super uncomfortable for everybody. So for that reason, your interviewer is not going to leave you personal feedback because we are the facilitators here. Every interview, every demo, the Beijing team is going to look over and they are the ones pushing that final yes or no button. So for that reason, don't expect your interview to give you feedback. We can't. We would love to sometimes. Sometimes it's so hard when someone was really good to not say, you are amazing. I had one person, I wish she was in here. Her name is Ursula, and she came to her interview and immediately she was like, hello, I'm teacher Ursula, and had like a little stuffed animal Ursula from, you know, The Little Mermaid. And it took everything in me not to be like, oh, that's adorable. So sometimes it's really hard for us not to, you know, give you that feedback, but we have to hold back. Sarah says, will the interviewer be someone based in the US? Not necessarily. It's most likely going to be a teacher, but we do have teachers that are either in the US, Jessica's in Spain, Nana is in Serbia. So some people live in different places just because they're traveling, but there are some of us that live in the US. So when you go to schedule your interview, you should have lots of times to pick from. If you don't see one that works for you, come back later and check it out. Somebody might add slots and then you have something that works for you, especially if you're working with another company. So definitely keep checking for those times popping up. Has Magic Ears ever hired dark-skinned teachers? Fernando, normally I think people are like, oh, I don't want to answer those questions, but I think this is so important, guys. The answer is yes. Yes, yes, yes. Magic Ears invites everybody to apply. It is so important that we get that across. We don't want anyone to feel like you cannot apply, because the only thing we're looking at are teaching skills and teaching personality. And again, this is not like a Magic Ears approved thing. This is something that I'm doing on my own time because I really, really care, guys. I know that sounds like so sappy, but I love this job and I really want to help everybody get through. So yes, Fernando, yes, we really encourage it too. This is for everybody that meets the qualifications, that's a native speaker. And again, we're looking at just teaching and personality skills. Will you eventually get feedback and tips? David wants to know. If you do not pass your Magic Ears interview, which I hope everybody passes with the information I'm given, but if not, they are going to give you kind of like a generic response saying like, we don't think you're a great fit at the moment. What you can do is email them back at teacher@mimears.com. And what I recommend is use little brackets to put interview and then say requesting feedback. And they will give you feedback to work on specifically for you. So I do recommend doing that. Reach back out to them if you do not. Pamela wants to know, how much do you prep before a class? So I look at it before night and before my class times just to double check, but we do want to keep this webinar about the interview process. But I would love to answer that question if you ask in the Q&A group. We have lots of teachers that have amazing ideas on how to prepare for back-to-back classes. But yes, guys, thank you so much for coming. This means so much to me that I've had the chance to kind of talk with you guys a little bit and connect. Again, all of us interviews and really all the staff at Magic Ears, we want everybody to succeed. This is such a great place to work and I want everybody to have the amazing experience I have. So doing things like this, it doesn't bother me. I really enjoy doing it. So if you guys don't have any other questions, I won't take any more of your time. Thank you so much for sticking through me with all of this weather madness. I really appreciate it, guys. Yes, all extra questions, Facebook Magic Ears Q&A group. If you took that screenshot in the beginning, we have all of our information there. Yeah, do you have to have your classroom decorated for the interview?
tidy is okay. So a nice, clean, tidy background is okay. If you do have it decorated, great. We love color at Magic Ears. We love brightness. So this, it doesn't have to be as crazy as this. I had my mom make it, so moms are awesome, right? But if you have some kind of poster up, a world map or something, a picture of Bonnie, it's really, really cute, and it just gets you a little bit of brownie points. So color we do like. But thank you guys so much for coming. If you have any other questions, please come check us out in our official Q&A group. Like I said, we have admins on shift 12 hours a day to try to answer all of your questions as quickly and efficiently as possible. So thank you guys so much for coming, and I'll see you all in the group. Happy teaching and happy application process. Thanks, guys.